I just in a chair, but if you're like to sit on the floor, feel free to do so. I'll guide you a little bit as to how to alter it for a floor. But I thought that a chair is really good because we spend a lot of time in chairs, especially nowadays with probably if you're working still, hopefully, we're doing a lot of internet stuff, you know, so that's a lot of taxing on the eyes, a lot of exhaustion that way. So things that you could do to access well-being through using a chair. So the first thing that I'd like to do is to start with what's called mountain pose. Again, you could be standing if you like, or you could be sitting. So you want to start by feeling your feet. Notice your feet connecting to the floor. Observe where the feet are in relationship to your knees. Place the hands on top of the thighs, maybe palms down. That could help give you a little bit more grounding. Or if you feel kind of heavy, if you turn your palms up, that could maybe help with a little bit more uplifting through the spine, which will help to open your breath just naturally. So see what it is that works for you. You want to feel that the feet have a nice ground. If you're sitting on a chair, the sitting bones, the base of the pelvis, those sitting bones are receiving your body weight. And then that little pressing into the thighs or turning the palms up with your hands and lifting up through the spine. You may want to lift your shoulders up and back. Maybe if it feels good, you could close your eyes. And sitting or standing like a mountain. So a mountain is strong and it's uplifted. So if you're working at the computer a lot, you know, again, that could cause a lot of fatigue, a lot of eye tension, which in turn could cause a less resiliency. So you could take your hands and rub the palms. If you have glasses on, you may want to take your glasses off for a moment. Rub your palms. And when you start to feel heat developing in your hands, right in the center of the hands, just let the hands cup over the eyes. So right here, you're taking out sight, kind of quieting that sense of sight. You might feel the warmth around the hands, penetrating to the muscles of the eyes. And then here, you can bring your fingers down to the center forehead and just give a little smoothing out across the forehead, maybe over the eyelids, maybe around the neck. So here's self-care, right? Self-massage, just taking care of yourself. So simple. And then maybe you even want to give a couple of strokes across the collarbones. And then let's let the hands rest down onto the lap as you're ready and notice how you feel. So we're going to move the spine in all its directions. So we'll start with a side bend. Again, you could be doing this standing up. Take one arm and reach it up. If this is uncomfortable for your shoulder, feel free to just place it here, on the head, maybe on your hip, wherever you feel comfortable. I'm going to bring my arm up. You take a breath, and then you just take a little side bend. So again, you might not even need to do this. Maybe you just hold the arm down and just kind of letting your spine bend like a nice bending tree. You forget your head. Let the head go too a little bit. And breathe. Come up. And then just let yourself go to the other side. You may notice a nice stretch along that upper side of the body. See if you could keep your awareness of breath to that area. And then come back up. Inhale. Nice long exhale. Just let that exhale go. And when you think you're at the end of the exhale, maybe a little bit more. Okay. And then we'll move into what's called a back bend. So if you're in the chair, you could just simply bring the hands to hold on to the back. If you're standing up, the back of the chair, excuse me. If you're standing up, you could also place your hands on your hips, on your lower back. And then here, just going to lift. Just lift the chest. Watch out you don't drop the head back too much. And then take those long out breaths. When you think you're at the end of the breath, maybe you could breathe out a little bit more, and then allow that vacuum action to happen for your in-breath. So you just relax. The in-breath comes, and then that slow out-breath. Keep a little bit of a softness across the chest muscles, watching, becoming aware, in tune if you're creating any kind of tension, if any, not creating it, but if any tension is living in that area. And then bring everything back to neutral. So this is that resilience, right? The resiliency of the spine, the ability for the spine to spring back into its neutral shape, all its natural curves and uplifted. And then from here, we'll change that position to a forward fold. So if you're standing, you could fold over the legs if that's comfortable for you. Or on the chair, let's just come a little bit forward. You cross your arms and just let them rest on your legs for a few moments. Maybe if it's okay, you can let the head relax a little bit. Let's take a notice of how this forward fold feels in your body. All right. Sometimes silence is the best way to listen, right? Just taking a little silent time to hear what's going on within. And as long as you don't have uncontrolled high blood pressure or low blood pressure or eye issues or even osteoporosis, so if you're here, this is fine. If you want to take this into more of an inversion, you could try to slide one hand down your leg, the other hand down your leg, and then just let the head go. You might have to make a little bit more space in the knees for your abdomen if you feel very compressed. So now you're taking this pose into an inversion and bringing the head below the heart level, which is very beneficial to help quiet the mind. And we're going to slowly come up. So if you're forward, place one hand on the thigh, the other hand, lengthen the spine, or for everyone else, we're just going to press down and come back up. And once you come up, maybe move your body a little forward, back, trying to find that center of sitting on your sitting bones. Those bones at the bottom of the pelvis. And then we'll finish off with one last posture. So a twist, a spinal twist. You could do this on the floor, or you could do it in the chair. So you can bring your one hand. I'm going to use my left arm. It's going to come behind me, and my right arm is going to come over to my outer left leg. I want to lift up through the spine, and then just softly turn. Don't force it. You might want to close your eyes again and see if you could find your long exhale. When you think you're at the end of that exhale, just a little bit more exhalation. You can let your head turn or not. You're really focusing more on the mid-spine. And then to come out, unwind center. Pause in the center to connect to your breath. Maybe you feel it in the back body. Become aware of where you experience the breath. And then we'll take that to the other side. So the right arm behind, the left arm across, lengthen, and then just slowly turn, just trying to find a sense of lift. Focus on your exhale. And when you get to the bottom of the exhale, just relax and allow the inhale, like a vacuum, the universe, just feeding you that in-breath. And in return, you're giving the out-breath back. Right? So a giving and taking relationship, receiving and giving, and then come back to center. Take a few seconds. So we just built resilience there, resiliency of the spine. And you may even notice your heart rate pick up a little bit more. So that's good. That's good stress to cope with like the inability to spring back, but that stress is good because now we're going to go into relaxation. So we activated stress response. Now the relaxation we're going to go into is activating relaxation response. And one of the greatest studies shows that progressive muscle movements are, progressive muscle relaxation is really beneficial to help activate parasympathetic nervous system. So all you need to do is just sit back or lie down, whichever you'd like to do. Just get yourself really comfortable. You can let the hands be on your legs, and maybe the arms are hanging. And we're just going to do an abbreviated of this tensing, releasing, we call it, or progressive muscle relaxation. So just start with your hands, just spread the fingers wide. You can just keep the arms where they are, the hands where they are, and then make soft fists and squeeze the muscles all the way up the arms to hug to the bones. And then when you exhale, just let it go. Just feel those muscles soften. And we'll go to the buttocks, all the way down the legs, because there's a little tight squeeze to all those muscles from your buttocks, your hips, all the way down to your feet. You might even curl your toes a little bit. And then just let it go. Maybe you feel a little movement, you want to rock a little bit. So this is what animals do. They stretch, and then they let it go. Right? And then they stretch again, and then they let it go. So that's what we're doing. We're embracing our primitive, our animal self. And then we'll just do one more tensing, releasing, or progressive muscle relaxation. Let's do the face and the whole body. So you're going to squeeze your face, you're going to squeeze your arms, squeeze your legs, squeeze your hips, squeeze everything, squeeze it tight and hold it, not too tight, just right for you. And then let it all go. Good. And just sit for a moment. Notice how you feel. Maybe there were areas that were tight that you didn't even know about. So we would normally stay in this a little bit longer after that relaxation, but because this is very edited, we're going to now move into a little bit of soft, easy, deep breathing. So again, you want to sit up tall, maybe find that mountain pose. So if you're on the floor, just sitting, you don't have to come back to mountain pose, but sit on the floor, cross-leg, or any way that's comfortable. And so breathing is always really nice to close your eyes just to get a sense of what's going on within, if you like, or you could cast them down. Become very aware of your out-breath. Just see, when you breathe out, you think you're at the end, can you breathe out a little bit more? And then just relax and wait for the in-breath to come. And then when you breathe out, maybe you slow it down. You draw the navel back a little bit, perhaps squeezing the air, and then just softening. So just take a few rounds to do that on your own, feeling that you're breathing out fully, as much as possible without creating tension, right? So that's the important part. And so we're just trying to use these breathing practices, the physical practices, as a means to redevelop that heart rate variability and to help us find techniques to work with letting go of stress response and activating relaxation. And now, after your next exhale, just before we move on, see if you could just feel your breath as it naturally is. Notice where you feel it, how you feel it. No judgment. It's purely acceptance, accepting that this is your life-giving force. It carries you day and night. When you're sleeping, you're not thinking about breath. So just let it be that natural. We just have two more practices. So is that okay, Anita? Okay. So we're just going to do something called humming breath. And that's just humming. So that's that sound vibration, right? Quieting the senses. So take a breath in, and then you're just going to hum your breath out. Try that 2 more times. Whenever you're ready, you take your breath in. Just notice how you feel after those 3 humming breaths. And we'll move into that final practice, the key that unlocks our feeling of being separated, that unlocks our cells from our essential self or true nature. And that's a meditation practice. So in yoga therapy, where I went to school, we had a lot of mudras, which are gestures or hand gestures. So we're going to use a gesture for this meditation that helps us to experience unity. So the left palm is turned up, the back of the right hand rests, and then the thumbs just lightly touch, and then the hands rest down comfortably in the lap. You may want to close your eyes or cast them slightly down. And see if you could sense this circular energy or breath, like this continuum being formed, that unity between the hands and the arms and the chest, this whole space, even all the way up to the head. Just taking a few moments to be here. Resting into your inner serenity. Sensing perhaps some inner peace. And letting yourself rest into your essential nature that's connected to all, unified. Maybe a smile on the face is very beneficial. Right. And take a breath in. And exhale just through the mouth.